Ambasadori i Suedisë në Kosovë, Jonas Westerlund, kërkon nga Kosova dhe Serbia të zbatojnë Marrëveshjen Bazë të Brukselit dhe aneksin e Ohrit të arritur në vitin 2023. Ai thekson nevojën që Qeveria e Kosovës të ecë përpara, edhe me themelimin e Asociacionit të komunave me shumicë serbe. Sipas tij, ekzekutivi kosovar duhet të dërgojë në Gjykatën Kushtetuese draft-statutin e Asociacionit të hartuar nga Bashkimi Evropian. Westerlund në një intervistë për KosovaPress thotë se marrëveshja e Brukselit dhe aneksi Ohrit janë ligjërisht të detyrueshme për Kosovën dhe Serbinë, andaj obligimet duhet të zbatohen pa vonesa.
Well, the official EU line at the moment is, of course, that the Brussels and Ohrid agreements are legal binding and they should be implemented as soon as possible. The ASM should also be implemented as soon as possible, and the step there is that the European Union is recommending the Kosovo government to hand over the draft statutes of the ISM to the Constitutional Court here in Kosovo. Then again, we have new commissioners coming in Brussels. We have a new team in Brussels. They have to take a look at this current situation and see if they could come in with any new ideas to find a solution.
Westerlund për KosovaPress jep edhe modele të shumta për mënyrën se si të themelohet Asociacioni i Komunave me shumicë serbe.
Well, I mean, the official European Union line on this is that there is an obligation for the Kosovo government, already back in 2013, but also in the Brussels and Ohrid agreements from last year, that they should establish this. And I think it would be a good thing as well for Kosovo to do that. There are plenty of models. I think Mr. Miroslav Lajčák has mentioned that there are over 40 minorities and 40 sort of setups in Europe, but one could pick anyone. I was myself part of creating a similar structure in Croatia back in the 1990s. Nothing is, you can never compare one conflict with another conflict, so nothing is really similar in that sense. But back in the days in Croatia in the 1990s, I was part of creating the Serbian National Council, right? And that seems to have worked out fairly well in Croatia, and that was also agreed by Belgrade. There are ample of examples in Europe that the one could replicate. I do not feel that the example of Republika Srpska is necessarily 100% correct, because that's a different situation, and you have a much smaller population of Kosovo Serbs if you compare to Serbs living in Bosnia.
Sa I përket situatës së sigurisë në veri, ambasadori suedez thotë se njëjta është ende e breshtë, derisa flet edhe për sulmin terrorist në Bansk vitin e kaluar.
I wholeheartedly condemned the Banska incident, of course. We need to come back to the situation where we were before 5th of November in 2022. Many Kosovo Serbs in northern Kosovo feel that the situation is tense. They also feel that there is a lack of trust between the Kosovo Serbs and many of the institutions, including the Kosovo police. I think it's important to come back to a situation where you have local mayors being represented by the local populations, that you have local police representing the local populations in the 4 northern municipalities. That, of course, means that the local populations have to participate in the local elections. I think there was a serious misjudgment by the Kosovo Serbs not to participate in the local elections and not to participate in the referenda about the mayors in the 4 municipalities. But we need to look ahead. I think we need to have we need to solve the current situation and have better representation from the local population.
Westerlund po ashtu thot se ura Ibri duhet të hapet, mirë po për një gjë të tillë qeveria duhet të koordinohet me banorët në dy anët e lumit dhe të vazhdojë dialogun.
We have said that the bid should be open. The question is how and when, of course. I believe that the bid should be open, but it should be done in consultations with the populations on both sides of the river. But we have to have, we need to continue a dialogue. I think it's important to have this dialogue between the local populations. It's not just a normalization dialogue between Serbia and Kosovo, but it's also on a local level, and in particular in Mitrovica on both sides of the river. So we have to promote tolerance and unity. I think one way is to have these local dialogues between the local populations there. So if you can work with a local dialogue and have discussions on how we can clean up the river, mutual issues, including to have a restoration of the mosque. The mosque was built in 1777 and then destroyed in 1999. I think that would be a great symbol of Mitrovica to restore that mosque.
Krahas kësaj, ai deklaron se Kosova do të përfitojë mjaft shumë nga plani rritjes së Bashkimit Evropian për vendet e Ballkanit Perëndimor.